Good morning, traders. Thanks for joining me this morning on our 2374th episode. It is Friday. Happy Friday, the 9th of December, 2022. This is the last day before we roll. Monday is rollover. Monday's rollover for all U.S. indices. Next Friday is triple witching and expiration. So just remember, next week is a little bit more difficult to trade generally because the volume is transitioning from the Z2 contract to the H3 contract to March 2023 on the U.S. indices. Derivatives trading is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. So, yesterday we had a lot of technical issues. I have a new PC, a new just rigged up PC, and it wasn't behaving very well. Hopefully, it does better today, and it looks like it is. So here we are, the Convergent Trading pre-market summary sheet this morning. We're looking at a market that is mixed, despite the fact that the PPI, we were rallying across the board before PPI, and then PPI came in and just crushed it. PPI in the U.S., a relatively significant figure for the Fed. Year-on-year PPI came in at 7.4%. The prior is 8.1. Now, it's much, much better than the prior, but it is worse than the expectation, which was 7.2%. The core PPI year-on-year came in at 6.2 versus 5.9. And so I saw this across several platforms, Rhythmic, IQ Feed, Sierra, all just froze up. It seems like the exchange couldn't handle the flood of orders, and we ended up just gapping down and dropping about 60 points. I think 60 points exactly from the high. The high is 39.90, as you see in the sheet in front of you. 39.90. We were the SOC is 39.8675 in the S&P. 39.8675 is where the auction got interrupted this morning by the PPI, and that remains standing there because we gap below. We did not go and retest that. In crude, we actually retested the SOC. So the auction is still in favor of shorts here with the SOC at 39.8675. So we went from the high of day right before the number to the low of day right after, and the spread is 60 points exactly. The inventory is even currently in the overnight session, and we still have another big number that's coming out at 10 o'clock. That is the U.S. Michigan Consumer Sentiment Prelim for December. The expectation is 56.9. This sentiment number can really move us. In addition to that, next week we have CPI. I believe it's on Tuesday. Let me check on that just to make sure I'm not eating my words here. Yes, CPI on Tuesday, year-on-year, expected at 7.7, 7.6, and the core inflation at 6.2. Core CPI expected at 6.2, and then we have the Fed on Wednesday. So PPI kicks off this set of important indicators for the Fed, and really is very, very meaningful. So very watchful this morning of that release, and it just kind of blew up several data feeds. So that's where we stand. The news yesterday that caused the market to shoot up and then shoot straight down at about 1 o'clock Eastern or so. If you were trading the NASDAQ or the S&P, you saw the market kind of reverse and drop. That's when the FTC announced that it is suing Microsoft to block the purchase, the $69 billion purchase of Activision. We saw the move on that, and then the market kind of recovered. That's what that was, and that's pretty big news. Microsoft is a huge player in both the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. And then Tesla says it's to suspend Model Y production at Shanghai plant from the 25th of December to January 1st to reduce December output by 30%. By 30%. So that's relatively significant here. I'm looking at Tesla in the pre-market. It's only down about 0.11%. So anyway, looking forward, 10 o'clock, Michigan sentiment. We do have wholesale inventories, not so important. Then we have this Fed's quarterly financial accounts report at noon Eastern. Sorry, I don't know if I said Central or not. Michigan sentiment's 10 Eastern, wholesale inventories 10 Eastern. And then we get the crop report from Mr. Beeks. That's a reference to those of you who are fans of trading places. The crop report comes out at 12 as well. And then we wrap up the week with the Baker Hughes rig count. Taking a look at the S&P multi-distribution profile overnight, we are below the mid. We are below the full session VWAP in the S&P, and we are trading in the low volume node, but we're also in that key area that I talked about yesterday of 55 to 60. 55 to 60, and we're holding steady here. So this is a very interesting place for us to start the session. Very, very apt. This is the big MC point of control, the big balance zone. I'll show you that in a second. And we are just attacking it from below. We do have a weak low below us. We have taken out yesterday's high and yesterday's low. I still see this entire push up, this grind up, as a pullback for a continuation lower. As I said before, the key number below is 39.1413 in the S&P. That area remains to be tested, and if we can't hold it, very likely to push through to 38.90, then 38.70, and then we're looking for 38.20 after that to close the gap. So here's what we've got. Actually, this is yesterday. This is yesterday's action. Oh, this camera is still jittery, right? Like max headroom. I got to look at why that is. So here's where it was yesterday. 55.60 to 60. This is from yesterday's Trader Bite. And 55 to 60 was a key area to check. Early on, it set up a trade very early. That was the initial setup. And if you go a little bit farther into the video, I show how I'm looking to get that set up. I'm looking for it to push back up into that 55.60 area, which now at that point had this zipper zone. And I was looking for it to roll over in that area for a short back to gap to settle, and the settlement price was 36, I think, yesterday. 36 is the target that I was looking for from about 55, and that trade did set up. If we look at yesterday's action, if my chopping head, my matrix driven head here is distracting you, I can turn this camera off. I'm not sure. This is a high-end camera, but not sure why it's doing that. So this is the trade here yesterday. We open up and immediately start to push into that area. And as soon as it starts to roll over, we have a setup right here for a short. And we were looking for the gap to settle. Gap to settle trade, and that gap to settle is, yep, I was right, 39.3675. We were looking for that trade to push through, and it just had a hard time getting through the full session mid yesterday. The full session mid really pumped the brakes on us, and then after that it just couldn't push any farther. Got to 37.75, couldn't close it. couldn't close the settlement, and then it started to push up, and then we reversed into an impulse up. So yesterday was all about buying pullbacks into 76 was the next price that I was looking for, and it got to 75.75 early on, right there, 75.75. And then it turned, finally poked through, and then we pulled back on the Microsoft news right here. Actually, the Microsoft news was right here. So that's where we are. That's the narrative of where we are so far. Big picture narrative. This is crude. Big picture narrative. We still have this big impulse to the downside, and we had an inside day before yesterday, and then we broke the one-time framing down, the trend down, which is measured as lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. We broke it, and we filled the single prints from the selling day, which was Tuesday. We filled the single prints almost on the nose, only to balance again. So this is grinding up, and then this morning we're opening below that balance, and I'm anticipating that, we're basically unchanged. I'm anticipating that yet again that 60 area is going to be material to this morning's trade. So I'm going to be looking, I'm going to stalk for how the market moves into the 60 area, how the market moves into the 60 area and responds, and I'm going to be looking to short it back down, and I'm looking to short it back into the 39.30 down here, the balance of the prior day, the balance of this day. So I'm trading from balance up above to balance down below. So I'm going from the balance of 2 days ago, from the balance yesterday to the balance 2 days ago, and that happens to be this big prominent balance area. You see the amount of trading that has occurred in this area. This is where we are currently. The market is really imbalanced. So, some folks are saying, hey, this has found a swing low and it's likely to push higher for the Santa Claus rally and so on and so forth, and it may do that. I'm not attached to any particular outcome, but to me, that move down from 4,100 has not been canceled yet. We still haven't even tested the 50% of it, and I'm still looking for a continuation trade. So I'm still looking for the low of the last couple of days here, or of 2 days ago, to be taken out here in this 39.20 area. I'm still gunning for that, looking for, as I said, 39.14 to be tested. So that's that. Looking at the composite area, day before yesterday, we pulled back to exactly the high volume node right there. We just went to 60, and boom, the brakes got locked in, and we stopped, and we finished in range in value. Yesterday, we opened a little bit higher. We pulled back against that value point, the 39.30, and then we started to push back up, and we finished in value again yesterday. Yesterday was a balanced profile with settlement at 65.75. So this morning, I'll say it again, between 60 and 65, really important area to watch how price progresses through. Okay, so if you're using Renko, Heikinashi, if you're using moving averages or whatever, you kind of want to see what confluence you have in the 60-65 area for a trade, in my opinion, and that's what I've got for you. So that's it. Looking at the delta overall, look at how the market was set up this morning. This is crude. Here's the ES. This morning, as soon as the European markets opened, we had the very large lots selling, and they held steady. But look at what happens on PPI. As soon as PPI hits, we have very large lots buying, net buying on that PPI. So the 39.30 represented value. Remember, 39.30 was the balance point 2 days ago, represented value for buyers. And they came in with size. There was quite a bit that traded here. As you can see, follow the yellow lines in case you're confused by these lines. follow the yellow line. The yellow dashed line are very large lots. These are 100 lot orders or greater, and the software Edge Pro X combines the various trades together back into the single order, so we can see what actually was looking to execute, whether it's an iceberg or not. And we could see that net buyers were the very large lots, and the large lots just sat sideways. So to me, it looks like the low is in, but we need to see. That's pre-market. Once the market opens and the equities open, we want to see how meaningful that is. They could sell them off as soon as the market opens. But right now, the delta is not telling me very much. It is positive despite negative prices. See, prices are negative versus where we opened, yet the delta is positive. So we're seeing that the market is seeing value in those 39.30s and that area below there. So we want to see what happens at 55.60 today. And then we want to see, do these buyers continue to come in and buy? If they don't, I'm looking short back to settlement. Settlement's above, actually, so it'll be 60 to 65. And then once that's done, I'm going to see if sellers come in. If sellers come in and push price down on the pullback, any weak pullback would be sold, and looking for us to resume a push back down to the 39.41, 39.30 below. That's the main idea for today. And if that's refuted, that's even better, because more people are going to get caught. And in that case, we have the 86.75 SOC as our target, so that the auction can go back, so we can go back to where we were before the PPI number. That's the SOC right there. So if it's not able to push the settlement and dip below it and hold below, then it's likely to walk itself to 86. So we have two very solid trades, 30 points down, 30 points up. We're at the mid of the session as we speak. Okay, so I'll leave you with that. Good luck today, and I'll catch you on Monday. On Monday, we'll be quoting March. We'll be trading and quoting March, and I'll post the premium table on Sunday night. Good luck. Mind your risk. Be a trader. Don't be a gambler, and I'll catch you on Monday. Take care.